Okay, hello everyone and welcome back. SoupaSoka here. Today we're going to find a hidden zone near Ironforge called the Ironforge Airport. It's probably one of the most famous hidden areas in vanilla World of Warcraft. You can see on the minimap we're just south of Ironforge, and actually if you look back this way, let me show you where we're at. Basically the entrance is right behind us, and all we're doing is heading up this little ramp off to the side here. So here's our little entrance. There's the entrance right ahead of us, and we're just going to go up this little path here to start. It's helpful. You probably will need a slow fall to do this. You can be a mage, slow fall, priest, levitate, or a noggin fogger elixir will all work. So what we need is to cast slow fall to start, mount up, and then we're going to try and land back here by this tree in the distance. Let's see if I do this right. Looks like it should work. Great, okay. Then we're going to follow up this path this way. Basically now we're just going to do a lot of running along the hillside here. Nothing, whoops, slow fall. I'm going to turn that off. Don't need that. You can kind of run along the left here. Basically kind of follow to the left of all these trees. Pretty simple. And we're going to run through this set of 3 trees here. Let's take a look at the map again. Now you can see we're kind of off to the east of Ironforge, a little south, mostly east. And we're just going to run up this snowbank here. We should be able to get up this. Yep. Okay, and then we're just going to follow straight up. Pretty simple path, to be honest. And this is my first time actually exploring the airport outside of Ironforge. So I haven't actually been there myself yet. I've seen videos of it and heard about it for years. I remember this all the way back in vanilla WoW, retail vanilla. There is a little camp up here. You can already see one little camp. Nothing really to do up here, but there is a little camp. We're going to keep on moving along this way. And there's also a nice tower up here. You can see it on the mini-map, actually, the little tower. And we're going to take a quick look at that real fast while we're on our way. I think a lot of times people kind of miss these little details while they're heading over here. There's really nothing important with these towers. You can't really do anything, and there's no way to get inside them. They look like they're hollow, but there is like a solid yellow wall there. There's a little scenery along the way. And I keep moving along back on the path down here in this little valley. And we're moving along just fine. It's very easy to explore this area as long as you have a slow fall. Like I mentioned, you can use noggin fogger elixirs. Let's see, like noggin fogger elixirs, you get them in Teneris off a goblin there for a quest. You can slow fall down here. You don't really need to. You can just run down. It's fine. Nothing too tricky about this. The only time you really need the slow fall is to get up that side where I was at the beginning. But there's actually, I believe there's another way we can climb up that side there. I just happen to like using slow fall. It's a little bit easier. And I always like the easy way when exploring if possible. So we're just moving along the side here. We're still in Dun Murogh. Take a look at the map again. Now we're way over here. You can actually see the airport on the map. If you've never noticed this before, the airport is there on the map actually. And we're basically there. You can see it down there. We do need to find a way to get down. There's a few ways also to get down here. I think again I will probably just slow fall my way down, but I just want to take a quick look while we're here and see if there's another way down. There definitely is, and I can't remember exactly the best route to get there. So in this case, I'm just going to dismount, slow fall up again, and you probably even could have slide down here to land on top of this roof safely, to be honest. Especially if you're a rogue, you could easily do that. I think Druid Cat form also has reduced damage from falling, so you could probably do that as a Druid. But this is basically the Ironforge Airport. Let's take a quick look at the map again. We're now in the middle of this airport. And we're going to go ahead and turn off slow fall for the time being. However, interestingly enough, these don't turn off slow fall. We're going to turn off the map soon. Interestingly enough, these are actually characters that we can kill as a horde character. We're going to go ahead and blast one of these guys and see if they drop any loot. Let's see. Looks like there's nothing lootable there, which is not surprising. Alright, let's take the tour. We're going to start down on the south end here, so I'm going to turn off the UI for now. Give a little more clean appearance. And we're going to start all the way at the end, and then we'll start exploring little bit by little bit. It is quite a large area, so I might skip ahead a little bit and fast forward slightly, just so we can cut to the more interesting things. You can see along the walls, there's lots of these kind of mountainside buildings that kind of built in the wall, some nice towers. All just stone brick buildings. They all look very similar. There's really not a lot of significant difference between the architecture of each building. They almost look identical, just different heights. That's pretty much it. And if we go all the way down this area here, there's really not much to show at the end. There is a little rock formation here, which looks like it would have been a cave at one point, but is caved in. No pun intended there. But it does look like it's been sealed up now. And there is some more kind of open space along the edges here. And if we move along back this way, we can actually see we're basically heading back into the center part of Dun Murogh on this side. I believe over here there's actually some quests in these areas. I know there's a quest at Amberstill Ranch. I think there are at Misty Pine Refuge, which is pretty much what we're overlooking right now. So, if you're ever in Misty Pine, what is it called? Misty Pine Refuge, and you look up here to these mountains, you're actually looking just over the mountains into Ironforge Airport. So let's head back to the main part of the airport. We actually can see quite a little bit more. And if you're wondering why they call it an airport, it's because you'll see there's actually kind of a launch pad, runway, some helicopters, things like that. So it's basically an airport as far as dwarves and gnomes are concerned. But it's not in the game as far as any functional use. And I don't know what the original intent of the developers was for this area. I'm not sure if Blizzard had, wanted to implement this and then decided just to take it out, or if they just didn't finish it in time and they just left it as is because it wasn't worth the effort to remove it. I don't know if they sealed it up or if it was always inaccessible like this. Not inaccessible, but hard to access. Maybe it was always like this and the only way to get there was through some quest that required you to fly there. Who knows? We can see lots of siege engines along the way here. And there are some buildings here, but this one is also pretty much sealed up. However, there is a wall. If we look through there, we can see through it. Huh. Well, I want to go inside, so let's do that. Let's get inside there. Okay, after quite a lot of testing, I figured out how to get in there. So, if we type in these coordinates, .go, 4965, 1760, 525, and I think 0 helps, but it's not really important. We get close. You can see we're kind of inside, but we're sort of on top, and what I found is that if I'm trying to get down here, I end up sort of getting in, but getting stuck still. So just a little more adjustment, and I think this is the number we need, is 517. And there we go. Now we are actually inside. You can see it's kind of hard to tell, but let me scroll in. It's going to take a moment, and we can kind of look outside and see where we are from here. It's hard to tell, but that is the outside right there. You can't see the rock that's blocking it, but there is a rock that would be blocking it. And now we're actually inside that little tiny space, and there's not really much in here. There looks like a little shelf on the side here, little light, and bare floors, a little candle holder here, a little stool, another shelf, and there is a fireplace, but nothing actually going on in the fireplace. And then if we walk out, you'll see that as soon as we back up a little bit, we get stuck behind that wall. And there we go. So that is the little hidden room there. And I tried kind of porting up higher in there, but there's really nothing. This is just empty space up here, just decorative. But there is a little house down there at least. That's kind of cool. I've never seen that before. I've never seen anyone explore inside that little hut there. It's kind of a fun little thing. And so just to show again where we are on the map, we're down here in the very far southern tip still. So there's the coordinates for that. It took a little while to figure that out, because you have to kind of adjust the coordinates little bit by little bit. But eventually, we're able to sneak in. There is another big tower here, with what looks like another impassable wall. Oh boy. Well, we've got some, I don't know if I can get the camera just right here, but you can see there's a tunnel there, folks. Looks like we've got some more teleporting to do, so let's figure out these coordinates. And there's no texture in that, so it looks like it was a last-minute blockade put in there. And I'm wondering if that tunnel will lead through somewhere, so we're going to figure this out. I'll be right back. Okay, it looks like we figured it out once again, so we're going to go ahead and show you the new coordinates. We need 4870, 1600, and 550. Negative 4870, negative 1600, and 550. And you should put a 0 at the end, but I'm on the right continent, so it doesn't matter at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and pop that. And we're actually we're slow falling, because it's a little bit too high. Actually, ideally, you probably want to set this 550 to like 540, 545 maybe. But it's close enough for what we're doing. Okay, so we're in the tunnel now. You can see the outside there. There is that wall, which I think I may have just ran through. Yep, there it is. So the wall is right there. Let's try one more time at 4,500. Let's slow fall. So 4,500 also works well. Okay, so let's go ahead and explore this thing. I have no idea where this will lead, but at the moment we're heading west towards Ironforge. I wonder if there was at some point a connection between Ironforge and this airport. And it looks like it's open from this side, like completely open actually. But I do wonder what happens if we were to jump off of here. Huh. Well, that's pretty interesting. Actually, I'm pretty sure we can... Can I mount up in here? I can mount up. Okay, let's try one last thing. I think you can do something interesting here. Let's see if this does anything. We're in Ironforge at the moment. Whoops, I missed. Let's try this again. There goes slow fall, and let's do this one more time. 4870. Slow fall. We can't slow fall because we're mounted. I almost died doing that. Now, I have a feeling that if we look at where this is heading, it's heading into Ironforge. That at one point this tunnel led from Ironforge into the Ironforge Airport. That would be my guess. And let's go ahead and cast slow fall again. Let's try this one more time. We may end up dying here, but that's okay. Huh. Yeah, that was a little portal there for the tram, I think. And I think this is actually a method for you to get to Old Ironforge. I think, I remember a long time ago getting this idea that I saw on another YouTube video, I believe. We could go to Old Ironforge. Oh, I'm gonna die here, aren't I? Woo, I lived, just barely. Anyway, so that tunnel's pretty cool. Like I said, it leads west into what is basically Ironforge, and we can use that tunnel, it looks like, to get back into Ironforge, and probably at one point, this was how you would get to this zone, was through an unfinished tunnel system that would have led over there from Ironforge. So let's continue our little travels along here. We see all the gyrocopters set up here. I guess those are gyrocopters. Little gnomes managing them. More equipment on the sides here, a few tents, which are fairly vacant. Not a lot of NPCs around, but there were some gnomes back at the helicopter area. Is there anything up here that's going to kill us? I hope not. Even the little ramp here is like blocked off from getting into it. Interesting. I wonder why they would block that off. Didn't do a very good job of it, but they did try to block it off, or it just was unfinished and left a little bit funky. It's fairly well completed area, right? This is, you know, pretty much all the doodads, all the little decorations that would be necessary are in here. Fortunately, we can't quite sneak out these windows. We're a little too big. I thought we might be able to, but we can't quite do it. So let's go ahead and walk out the normal way. And we can't mount in here, right? You can't mount here. Okay. In fact, let's turn off invisibility so we can see if any NPCs do pop up. And now we're at the kind of the northern edge of the zone now. Not the zone, but this area within Dun Murogh. Again, this is the Ironforge Airport. It's in Dun Murogh. It's in Vanilla WoW. I don't know if it exists in Retail WoW now, if you can still get here or not, or if it was removed in the Cataclysm, but it definitely exists at the moment in Vanilla WoW. And this is what we need to see, right? So now we see there are guards here, and most importantly, this is the Griffin Master area. So it looks like at one point there would have been a flight path that was accessible through here. And there's even a level 55 guard, which I assume that guard would eventually have been made an elite. Level 55, because most of the Griffin Rider characters in Vanilla WoW were level 55 elites. So I'm guessing this would have been turned into an elite at some point, but he's just a placeholder for the time being. So I'm just curious if this guy drops anything, which I'm guessing he won't, but let's go ahead and blast him and see what happens. I'm not in all my normal gear, I'm in a bunch of my decorative host gear is what I call it. It's just like a few things are there, mostly black tuxedo pants and such. So some junk, but it's enough to kill him and nothing drops there. Which, it's hard to say if that's because I'm on this private server that doesn't have him itemized or if because there's never any itemization for that character. I'm guessing both is actually the answer. So that's mostly the complete tour of the Ironforge Airport. We're at the end here. There's some guards. There is a little kind of downhill area here, but there's not much else to show from it. It's a very small area. Considering how large it looks like it is on the map, there's not a lot there. And you can see, obviously, this is the kind of the runway here. So that's pretty much it. It was kind of cool. We got to explore a few of the locked off buildings, which are interesting. Not a lot in them, but it's kind of cool seeing that Blizzard took the time to block them off at all. Like, what, you know, personally, I don't I'm surprised they even wasted their time blocking it, because they already made it such a hard area to get to up here. But that's Blizzard, always going the extra mile to try and make it a little bit harder for explorers. And now we're just going to kind of jump off into the distance, and of course this is going to take us directly into the wetlands, which is actually, you probably could get banned in retail WoW if you had climbed up here and used this as a shortcut to get into the wetlands, because truthfully you can get pretty much into Menethil Harbor through here if you jump far enough. And we need to cancel this. So there we go. That's the end of us for the day. But that's the exploration of the Ironforge Airport, or the Dun Murogh Airport, whatever you want to call it. It is hidden in vanilla WoW. It's pretty easily accessible, especially if you have slow fall. Just head east from Ironforge and follow through the mountains. There are other ways to do that, but that's one of the simplest ways to get here. That's all for today, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.